stuff to choose from for the A-listers who really can afford it all themselves. The extravagant products and experiences include trips to Paris and Ireland, a chartered yacht in Indonesia, hundreds of dollars of caviar, a leaf bottle of tequila, even surf lessons with a custom-made surfboard. Stand-up comedian and actor Joe Coy will host the 81st Golden Globe Awards. It's on Sunday, January 7th on CBS and will be streaming live on Paramount Plus. Stacey Lynn, CBS News. 49ers, Ravens, Christmas night. What's the plan? We have sports coming up next. It's Just Lunch presents a holiday dating fantasy.
Hello, Dave. I heard you're lonely. The holidays are coming fast. I'm real hot to see you're lonely. The two of us will have a blast. A lean size 8, my skin is creamy. I love to play both wild and tame. Gosh, I think you're really dreamy. Invite me in, Dave. Don't be lame.
Yeah, like that's gonna happen. Warm up your holidays with It's Just Lunch. No internet profiles or awkward video interviews. The dating experts at It's Just Lunch get to know you personally so they can match you with someone you'll actually have something in common with. Then they make all the arrangements for a great lunch date or drinks after work. Happy holidays from It's Just Lunch. Real people, real dates.
Visit itsjustlunchsanfrancisco.com today. It's Just Lunch. Connection awaits with a guaranteed date. The holiday season is here, and we're helping you unwrap your favorite holiday tracks with commercial-free holiday stations now through Christmas Day. Listen to 24/7 holiday music stations on the Odyssey app, all commercial-free. Discover the best of holiday music of all time with Classic Christmas, or take a note from the king of Christmas music himself with Michael Bublé's handpicked favorites on Michael Bublé Christmas. Your holiday favorites, your Odyssey, commercial-free now through Christmas Day. Download the free Odyssey app and search holidays to get started.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-663-1313. 800-663-1313. That's 800-663-1313. Coming up on KCBS, filing taxes, it can be stressful, but in some European countries, it's not so bad. It's done for you. KCBS News Time 2:15, we have Nat Pittman at the sports desk.
Week 16, the two best teams in the NFL on Monday Night Football. And oh yeah, it's Christmas night. Where else? Santa Clara Levi Stadium. It's the AFC leading Baltimore Ravens versus the NFC leading San Francisco 49ers. Potential Super Bowl preview. 49ers linebacker Fred Warner says it doesn't get much bigger than this.
They'll play it on Christmas night, Monday Night Football, eyes on you.
Ravens are the underdogs by about a 5-point margin. Of course, the 49ers at home, they have won 6 straight, still being unfavored, not sitting so well with some Ravens players like safety Kyle Hamilton.
I think the 11 and 3s are not created equal right now in terms of the 49ers versus us, and we feel a little disrespected by that. I feel like we are the best team in the league, and we got an opportunity in front of the country to show it.
It all happens Monday, Christmas night at 5:15 kickoff on ABC. At the sports desk, Matt Pittman, KCBS.
My little brother's friends have been camped out at our place for 2 days straight. 3. It's kind of neat. Internet, I can handle a house full of screens at once, with like basically no interruption. And it's only getting faster. When I was their age, internet like this has a pipe dream. I feel like my grandpa. Let's go home. The next generation 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Now through March 21st, unlimited internet on the Xfinity 10G network. For just $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and Wi-Fi equipment included when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless sign auto goes toward bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity internet. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual fees vary.
Hi, it's Joe Hoskinson, your weekend traffic reporter and all-around great guy. May your family have a holiday season that is full of wonderful surprises, treats, and non-stop laughter. This message was not written by an AI chatbot.
KCBS traffic and weather together. We start off in Pleasant Hill with Carolyn. Yeah, we have a big problem there. Northbound 680 right there at the Monument Boulevard on-ramp. We have 3 or 4 cars involved in a crash. And thanks to Devin from the KCBS phone force, they're blocking at least the 2 right lanes. Now, emergency responders have arrived. They're also blocking a lane. I am seeing drivers now that are just absolutely inching along from Ignacio Valley Boulevard there. That is kind of painful. Hope you have your patience along with you. And then we'll head over to the Richmond area where on 80 westbound, this is blocking the El Portal off-ramp. At least 4 or 5 vehicles involved there blocking that right-hand lane there. Seeing traffic that is a little bit backed up. You'll start tapping on the brakes after that Hilltop Drive on-ramp. We're also seeing very sluggish traffic in the eastbound direction of Interstate 80. That starts to slow down right around Sam Pablo Dam Road. You get back up to speed by the time you reach Hilltop Drive. We did have another accident. This is Highway 101 northbound just before Tully Road. This is in the South Bay. A car that spun out, hit the center divide down the 4 point there. CHP has not yet arrived on scene. Your next traffic update at 2:28 on the traffic leader, KCBS. Visit Mancini's Sleep World during the year-end clearance event or visit sleepworld.com. A lot of sunshine today, mild temperatures, 50s to low 60s. Tomorrow and Monday, actually Tuesday as well, we have some scattered clouds, some patchy fog, temperatures mostly in the 50s, and we start getting a slight chance of rain the next few days. By Wednesday, a lot cloudier. We are expecting rain on Wednesday and then a slight chance for Thursday. Traffic and weather together on the 8s on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS. Tax time is stressful for many of us, but it doesn't have to be. Ready Return, a system widely used in European countries, could save many Americans time, money, and worry. For more, KCBS's Jennifer Hodges spoke with Professor Ryan Wilson, the Henry Tippie Chair in Accounting at the University of Iowa. So tell us a little bit about what Ready Return actually is. How does it work?
Sure. It can work a little bit differently depending on which country you're talking about, but the basic idea would be that the taxpayer would receive from the government like a draft copy of their return, where the IRS would use third-party information from employers and banks to complete the return, as well as information from previous year's return. So the taxpayer would then receive the draft, and they could attest to its accuracy and sign off on it, or if there's additional information that needs to be added, they could add to that and file the return. So for a lot of Americans, information the IRS already collects from third parties would be sufficient to accurately complete the return.
So you said that it could help about 90% of Americans. So why is the U.S. not using it? I mean, is this something that was ever or has ever been considered?
Yeah, it's been considered several times. I think President Reagan actually initially proposed this idea in the early 1980s, and they weren't able to get it through. President George W. Bush implemented a program with a private software company trying to allow people access to a free filing, but there was some contention there, and some of the software companies dropped out of that program, so it wasn't as successful as they had hoped. But California and Colorado have run pilot programs with pre-filed tax returns, and more recently in the House they proposed a Tax Filing Simplification Act, which, if it was passed, would mean pre-filed returns for taxpayers. Mm-hmm. So there have been a lot of effort along this dimension, and there's about 40 countries that have these types of programs, but in the United States, we're one of the few we're not quite there yet. So,
are there any risks to using the system?
Oh, for sure. There's a lot to consider. I mean, it would take a pretty significant upgrade in technology for the Internal Revenue Service. They already have a backlog of tax returns. I know they use a lot of different equipment, and so that would be a significant investment. Now the IRS could get Inflation Reduction Act, about $80 billion. That may have been reduced to $60 billion, but some of that could be used to implement this type of a program to benefit taxpayers. I mean, an average taxpayer, according to the IRS, spends $210 in 11 hours on their tax return. So that's just an incredible amount of time. That adds up to $33 billion spent on tax compliance. And for a lot of people that have relatively simple situations where they just have earned income and wages, maybe some pension benefits, and some 1099s, this would mean they wouldn't have to spend that amount of money. It's also kind of regressive, right? Because the lower income taxpayers are going to bear a much higher proportion of their income on these costs than higher income taxpayers. So there's also other compliance risks, though. There have been some experimental studies where, would taxpayers, if they received a pre-filed return and it wasn't correct, especially if the tax is underestimated, would they correct it, right? There's some evidence that when they prepare their own return, they do so more accurately. And there's also just general distrust of the government. It would sort of fundamentally change the relationship between the IRS and the taxpayers.
That's Professor Ryan Wilson, Henry Tippie Chair in Accounting at the University of Iowa. Leaders in France are worried about the Olympics this summer. The opening ceremony for the 2024 Summer Games could be in limbo as the war in the Middle East rages on and terror threats around the world escalate. French President Emmanuel Macron says Paris plans to hold the historic event on the River Seine next year, with athletes parading through the city on boats. Performers haven't been announced yet, but he says if any of that is threatened by extremist attacks, plans and the location could change. Macron cited the terror attacks in Paris in 2015, where more than 130 people died. Monica Ricks, CBS News. Old car giving you problems? Why not donate it? Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS today.
Generative AI has given rise to a new skill set that can command salaries of $300,000 a year, and no coding wizardry is required.
The joke I've heard this year is that the most popular programming language in 2023 is English.
Justin Ferris of the software development platform GitLab is referring to prompt engineering.